There we go. Cool. Right, guys and girls, ladies and gents, we should be live. There we go. It's always a little bit rough. It's obviously going to take me a while to get that very much sorted. Okay. I'm going to switch this up for now and go to 4 charts just to keep it a little bit clearer. What's that? What's the difference between this one and this one? Oh. Okay, that's fine. Here we go. Cool. So I'm not going to keep this long. I'm going to work my way through all of this. I feel a little bit better. Yesterday I wasn't feeling so well. And there we go. Hi, Michael. Hi. There we go. Cool. And let's just go change up my list for now. Let's have a quick talk about this. I've got a daily, bottom right, all the way to a, it'll be a 15 minutes or something top left. Okay, so daily, top right. So basically what has happened, we're following on, hi Richard, hi, or should I say Rashad? It just looks, I know there's a special way to pronounce it, I don't know that one. So first of all, ladies and gents, let's have a look at this. So basically we have an uptrend on the dollar index. That's important to take away from this. We are now at 94. I think we could go to 95, but that is, we are at a level where I believe that it's valid as a minimum retracement, a 382 retracement for the dollar index. And so at any rate, that's an area where I think 94 to 95. So we could find that price turns around today, but we might find that actually indeed it carries on, which basically means that the euro will potentially continue to head lower. And I think the US is going to come online in the next 2 hours, and we'll get that. We'll get the follow through on that. So some potentially, this could be pretty cool. Looking at the euro dollar on the 4 hour, this would be a beautiful place for price to retest as resistance. Okay, beautiful. It would just be, to me, it doesn't have to, but it would be, it's a crisp level. It's a really nice crisp level, and therefore there could be some shorting opportunities there if we chuck on a few of these Fibonacci measurements. Who knows? We could find it overlaps. There we go. So it's a 382. I'm going to do something here as well. And then sometimes I get the option to add it on to the, I forget how to, there's a way that I can add it on here. Okay, so that being said, there's a nice 382 cluster there, potentially. Let's see if there's anything else. Look, it's going to be a 382 anyway. So no matter what we do, that's going to be the best we get. So I just thought I would highlight that as well. So 382 cluster fib level there. There could be a pivot level as well. Okay. Where am I? Oh, because my pivot levels are actually below the 4 hour anyway. So let's have a look. Do I have it here? Do I have any pivots? Oh, I don't have any pivots. So I'm going to go ahead and just add that. Bear with me. Different layouts will have different indicators. I think it's worthwhile to chuck the pivots on here as well. So let's just go ahead, add the indicator. Let's go through, add my pivots. Do I have saved ones? These will be my ones. Yeah, these will be my intraday pivots. Okay, so there we go. So daily pivots and there we go, R1. So that is significant if you ask me. Let's do the same thing here. Okay. Cool. I mean, all of that looks good. 17. I mean, that's phenomenal that we have a pivot at that level as well. And let's add it on here as well. I don't normally add it on the 4 hours, so I might take it away. But there you go. Now you see that's why. Because it's just... so it's going to have no, through this one and just remove it. Okay, but basically there is an R1 pivot which sits right on that level as well. So there's a cluster, without a doubt. There's a fib cluster. There's also a pivot as well as at a support level. And so for me, that would be a beautiful shorting opportunity into the markets. Hi Andy, hello. So wanted you guys to be able to see that. Let's have a look here as well. On the 4 hour, we're at support. We're at weekly support. I would keep an eye on this between today and tomorrow, because we could find, again, if, let's just talk about a hypothetical here. Let's say that the dollar temporarily weakens to allow the euro to climb up to here, and then strengthens again, which allows it to happen, or whether the euro does it on its own. And the same thing could happen. GBP pulls up here and then heads down and breaks to that level. They are similar possibilities. And then if there's a retest of this level on GBP, that would be a shorting opportunity this week. Aussie dollar, looking good, starting to become overextended on the 4-hour. But there may be on the 2-hour maybe, or maybe on the 4-hour shorting opportunities to the downside. That's cool. Kiwi dollar, I prefer, because this is already on its way and that's already on its way, I prefer the idea of shorter term potential opportunities here. Like you might argue there's a flat level breakout that's occurring on the 15 minutes. Flat level breakouts there could be cool. So basically, I know that the dollar index, for those of you who got in late, the dollar index could be turning at 94, which is where it is now, but I think we've also got the possibility it's going to go up towards 95. And so that would allow us to have opportunities to the downside on all these pairs. Dollar yen. So dollar yen, this is what I'm looking for. That could be a swing high as the price heads down back down to that level. So if you don't want to do it on the daily, then the opportunity would be on the 1 hour or 30 minutes, somewhere around there, to go back into a downtrend on those opportunities. So believe it or not, there could actually be multiple opportunities. Like yesterday was a mess. Today, I think we might actually have stuff today and tomorrow. Dollar Swissy starting to climb. That's a confirmed uptrend on the daily. So that I would rather be trading that to the upside rather than dollar yen. And dollar CAD is also in an uptrend. I would rather be trading that to the upside for now. Okay, so I would leave those out for the moment. Euro GBP is on the daily is still doing that swing low, but it's not looking super strong. So I would certainly consider, if you're in profit on this, that you consider the idea of updating your stop, maybe taking some profit off the table, and because that could change direction. So that's a possibility. Euro yen, looking good. I mean, it's still at monthly support resistance. My target is down here, but that's in play for trades to the downside. So there could be possible breakouts of flat levels from here through the pivot to the downside. If that happens, that's not a bad option there. So in other words, like versus yesterday, I'm kind of seeing some opportunities here. This is a mess. I mean, if anything, this chart is just saying stay away from me. This is just bloodshed and pain and suffering. So Euro Swissy's got nothing at the moment. I would stay away from that. I can't stress that enough. There's no money to be made there. Euro CAD. Euro CAD, not trending enough in my opinion. It's going to try to climb, but it's not good enough. So I'd leave that. Euro Aussie, trending upwards, looking good, off support, off weekly divergence, all of it. 1 hour cycles here could be really nice opportunities to find buying opportunities there. A little bit overextended, but not badly on the 4 hour. Any pullbacks on the 4 hour, I think, are buying opportunities. Pullbacks on the 1 hour, buying opportunities. So long on Euro Aussie. That looks good. So yesterday, maybe because I was sick, I really wasn't good. I didn't really see a lot of those opportunities, but today I'm seeing this potential in lots of different places. This must be an old trade setup that I had put in on the 4 hour. So it must have been over here. Oh, it hit the target. Sorry, it hit the target. Euro Kiwi. This is an old trade. Hit the target. That was one of the older ones. If you're on the group, if you're in the ForexVox group, you would have, and you saw that, you would have. That was a trade setup there from last week. Looks fine. Look at that. That 4 hour looks really good for potential things. And actually, the momentum indicator is now bearish again. So if you look now, you've kind of got a bearish here. It looks fine. It's convergent. Okay, fresh lows here, fresh lows there. It's okay. So it's convergent there. But it is coming down. I still think yesterday, I think I said there's room down to this side. So for this one, I prefer breakout of this level. So I would prefer for price to break below 133. Why? Because it's going sideways for the time being. It's going sideways for the time being, and I think it would be best. It's going to probably consolidate for a couple of hours or a day before heading lower. This one is starting to look very wishy-washy. Same as the other trade, which was one of the other trades I had a look at, and I said you might want to move your stop loss and maybe consider exiting the trade. I think pound Swiss is the same problem. I would maybe bring my stop loss up to date and maybe consider taking half the profit off the table, because I think it's looking, it shouldn't be. It should carry on going, but it's looking weird. It shouldn't be. It's just not bearish enough. Excuse me. GBP CAD, GBP Aussie. Okay, so pound Aussie. It didn't trigger, did it? Unless the entry was below this one, then it triggered and stopped out. But if that was the last candle that was taken, then it wouldn't have triggered. So it depends on where you got in. So if you did get in and get stopped out, I'm sorry about that one. I have to check the account because I've had so many trades open the last couple of days. I need to see where I'm up in profit, so I haven't done my trade reviews just yet. Pound Kiwi's looking bullish now, so that's a mess as well. So that definitely, and thankfully that wasn't on the list at all. So Aussie Kiwi, look at a lot of the charts are pushing up. Now it doesn't mean that they won't close that way. They could close down, but a lot of the charts look like they're now kind of changing direction. So just noting that. This looks nice and bearish. This is pretty cool. It's overextended. It's had a big move to the downside, but I think a flat level breakout here or a break downwards here could be good. Even if this one closes in 13 minutes as a potential bearish candle, there could be a break to the downside. I think that is going to go a little bit further. I think that's potentially going to go a little bit further. So that's interesting. Aussie Swissy, that means this one as well. So potential bearish candle forming here. That could be another shorting opportunity there. I'm pretty certain this is also going to continue down a little bit further. So that even again, and actually of the two, I think I prefer Aussie Swissy, but Aussie Swissy, Aussie CAD, potential opportunities to the downside there. This one, I mean, this is beautiful. It's very bearish. Like it's now definitely, there's no doubt Aussie Yen is overextended to the downside, but it may still have room to go. He has support where it is right now, support resistance. But again, that might be a bit of a setup there. It's more because the Aussie pairs are all quite weak. If you go through them, you can see they're all looking quite weak. Kiwi CAD. Again, looks like it's got room to go. A little bit overextended on the 4 hour, but I think still a little bit of room to go. So when I say there's a little bit of room to go, what I mean is I might take a trade on the 1 hour, but I wouldn't be looking to take a trade on the daily just yet. I do think that we've got, this one should have potential to go down to 8740, which is down here. So I think that there are some tradable opportunities here, maybe even a flat level breakout there. So it's so amazing that yesterday I was just like, oh, everything looks a bit wishy-washy. Today everything looks like it's pretty much decided what it wants to do. Kiwi Swissy here, if I was to do this, I'd wait for a retracement on the 1 hour back into here ideally and then go short. But again, possibilities. This looks great, man. Look at this. There's some solid breakouts of below monthly support. We're back down towards these levels. We've got room to go. Flat level breakouts here. So if you see an area like this, you know you need price to come back down to that level and break, because that level is clearly support. And if price keeps going up from here, you don't want to be in the trade. So you really want to make sure that it comes back down and then breaks through that support and takes you. So a break of that support level could be an opportunity. Is this making sense to you guys? Okay, we've got a bullish candle here and we've got a swing low. Doesn't mean that it's definitely going to retrace, but CAD Yen is indicating at that level that it could potentially now do a retracement, and if it does that, it's going to come back up to 79.50, 79.60, which is up about here. So if that is the case, excuse me, if that is the case, then I would wait. I keep an eye on that 4 hourly, basically. That 4 hour, if it goes into an uptrend, but I think once it gets back up to here, I think it's going to go back into a downtrend. So maybe cautiously watch that one. Because actually, you know, by the end of the day, it could just be so bearish, it just wants to keep going. And therefore, it'll just keep going on that 4 hourly. Because actually, these are valid setups on that 4 hourly. That was a valid kind of setup, which I didn't see, by the way. I've only looked at gold this morning. I've been doing other stuff. So it looks to me like there are some tradable opportunities. Cool. And again, you know, I would encourage you, if you see lots of opportunities, I would encourage you, in order to stay emotionally calm, is to reduce your risk. Like, drop it right down, 0.2%. I know that sounds ridiculous, but drop it down to 0.2%. If you're going to take 6 or 7 trades, drop it down to like 0.2%. because that way, if one makes 0.5% and the other, you know, like that way it keeps you emotionally stable. When there's a lot of trades, when you know there's like, here I'm looking and there's potential for 6 or 7 or 8 trades today, 1% per trade on all of those is just, it's a lot for me anyway. So I would be doing anywhere from 0.1 to 0.5. And what that does is immediately my money, my brain's not worried about money. Money's not a factor. Because then it's more about, is it a good setup? Do I have to take it? Don't I have to take the pressure? It reduces the pressure. And if you like the setup in the moment, you can say, okay, I'm gonna when I place the order, I'll increase the risk to 0.5% or something. But I'm just saying to you, if you've never thought about it, and suddenly there's a whole lot of opportunities, and you're like, holy cow, I'd hate for you to take them all at 1%, and then you have half of them are losers and half are winners, and it was a very stressful experience. It's not meant to be that way at all. And so that's why if you reduce your risk down, then you have the freedom to take more trades without the outcome being necessarily negative. And in fact, if they're all good trade setups, you'll still make more money than you lose. You might still be up 1%, but the whole trading experience for the day will be pleasurable compared to stressful. It's just a thought, something to think about. This is starting to wane for sure. This is starting to drift a bit sideways. It's properly overextended on the daily. You can see the candles are getting smaller. They're inside candles. It's at support. All of this indicates to me that this might want to take a breather, but it also looks quite bearish. Again, I would rather approach that as a flat level breakout. As a flat level breakout to the downside. So this is a potential momentum breakout. It's clearly struggling to get back above the daily pivot. So shorting, shorting, shorting. And a possible... Where's my toolbox? I'm pretty sure I had this one somewhere. I'm going to just do this quickly. I need the toolbox. And I think I can do this as well as what I did on the other one. No? What did it do there? Ah, okay. Never mind. It's a constant trying to get the... I'm like a dog that can't seem to settle on its bed. I need to get all this stuff going. Okay. Again, let's just drop this down a little bit. Try and get it a little bit more evenly spaced. I love this platform. I mean, I really do. I'm a big fan of it. Ugh. Okay. So flat level there. Possibly. There could be something. And I would be very cautious of that flat level. That flat level has to kind of be, clearly has to be something that we can see. And I like the idea of it potentially on this time frame. It's just not a crisp level. That's my issue with it. I can see this divergence as well. So I need that bearish divergence to come back down in line with that flat level. So I could wait and watch on it a bit. But there could end up being something where it continues down, is my point. Gold. You know where I am on gold. I've been screaming about it all morning. Beautiful. I took a second trade. I'm recording all this, by the way. I've recorded my entire gold setup. So I'm in on the candle. I don't know if any of you took the 30 minutes. There was a 30-minute proposal. But I took it and I'm up now past my 1-to-1 target on my way to 2-to-1. So that's beautiful. And that, I'm going to try to keep that one going all the way down to 1800 if it does. But that, so because that, and I need to work out what that's going to be if it's a 6-to-1 or 7-to-1. But I basically took an entry on the charts. Let me just find it for you quickly here. Center charts. Gold so far, touch wood, trading perfectly, just beautifully. So I'm just going to find it. See if I can get a link for you that I'm going to put into the chat. There we go. It's in the chat. You can have a look at it. Right, so that's gold. That's going beautifully according to plan. If you took silver along the same basis, you'd be fine. Okay, you'll be fine if you took silver along the same basis. And silver, even there right now, silver's producing a bit of a 1-hour PLT. And it is at a weekly support level. It is at 23, so there's some risk on that one. I still think gold's going to go lower. I'm not sure about silver. I didn't actually even look at that. I looked at gold. Not on purpose, I just looked at it. Copper is now going sideways, so copper has got nothing for me. Platinum, not as good. I still think it's going to head down lower, but I haven't done that. Palladium, it's just a mess in terms of lower time frames. Let's look at crude oils. Crude oils is a mess. Same as yesterday, not really going anywhere. I'm still waiting for it to decide what it's going to do in this area. Let's look at the S&P, the Dow, all that. Okay, so here we've got this, I spoke about this yesterday, that potential bullish recovery when the US comes online. So this is what I'd like to see today. Today, I want to see if it drops. I want to see if we drop today. If it fails to, if there's just not enough buyers above that. So I'm going to be looking on all of the indices to see if we, in the next couple of hours or later today, this starts to drop. And if it does, then I've got two choices. I take trades later in the afternoon as it starts to drop on the lower time frames. Nothing stupid. Nothing like 10 to 1s. Do 1 to 1s, 2 to 1s, 3 to 1s. Take profit as you go because it'll bounce at levels. It always bounces because buy orders are going to be there. But I would do that. And then tomorrow, I would then be looking more for shorts. Because basically, here's my logic. If the market is strong and bullish, it'll keep going today. If it isn't, then it's just a bounce. And we're going to start seeing it fail to keep going today. And we're going to see it start to head lower. So all of that is really kind of not, there's no fundamentals involved. It's more about, you know, if it does this throughout the rest of today, what is the underlying implication? So if it tries to carry on going today and just can't and hits low, then it's clearly not as strong. And so I would consider looking for shorts later in the day. But that means that if it fails today, tomorrow there's more bears on the table. So then tomorrow becomes more likely to short. So that's my rationale, sorry. And then certainly on the weaker one. So it'll be the same thing on all of these. Okay, so I don't have intraday for that, sorry, but the DAX, you know. So they could be bullish, they could maintain their bullishness, but I would be focusing on that. Let's go and have a look at some of the other instruments. So we want to have a look at commodities. Just to see if there's anything here. Like cocoa, lumber, if you have access to these but you're not trading at them, I would really recommend that there's money to be made in these in the background. Even looking at this one here, for example, cocoa's looking potentially nice and bearish there, man. That could be a nice shorting opportunity over the next couple of days. Coffee as well, should be looking good. Let's have a look. Live cattle, a bit messy, I'd stay away from that. Feeder cattle, bearish. Lean hogs, bullish, still doing that. Corn is messy on the lower time frames. Look at this, man. Beautiful. Canola. That's bullish. And I would wait for a buy opportunity. I'm going to go ahead on a limb and immediately say this is overextended on the weekly and it's doing potentially could do a weekly retracement. But in principle, man, that looks good. Otherwise it's going to do a weekly retracement. But that's cool. What have we got for wheat? Rough rice. Sugar. Orange juice. Breakout. Look at that daily breakout through support. So shorting opportunities on OJ today. So if you don't want to do currencies today, there's commodities. They will look good. I just don't have that intraday on this platform. So I don't know if I mentioned it, but Pro Realtime are sponsoring my data. So I have multiple Pro Realtimes, but this one they've given me real-time data across other instruments that aren't within IG Index, but they've done it so that I can do analysis, obviously, for other institutions and so on and so forth. Soybean, there's stuff. There's definite opportunities there. Okay, on my other list, which isn't here. That's fine, I don't have it. Okay, RJO futures, it's the same list. That's fine. These are all fine. Aussie dollar looking weak. Aussie dollar continues to look weak. So I think Aussie dollars and Aussie pairs is a consideration. What else? Anything you want me to have a look at before I go? But that's it. Doesn't take very long. Just wanted to see anything going on with bonds. Bonds right now, look, bonds right now aren't great, but I'm telling you, bonds are where money is at as well, and when they're trending. It's just nothing going on. Look, there we go. So Euro OAT could be something. Are there long term? Which one's this one? BDP full. Not sure which one that is actually. That's a money maker. 4 I would just print on that one. Gold. Micro E-mini. This to me looks like a weekly retracement. This is why I'm cautious on these. Because if that ends up as a bullish candle, the S&P on the weekly, we've done our weekly retracement. We've tested, pretty much come down into the recent highs. We're still overextended on the monthly, but the weekly is potentially the case. So I'm just This is why it's high risk. My weekly analysis was like marked as high risk because of exactly what's going on here. We've got a weekly doesn't know what it wants to do, daily that's just bobbing between the two, the monthly that wants to take a breather, weekly wants to keep going, and we've got the daily stuck between the two. Okay, cool. Gas will be momentum breakdown on daily chart. So which one was that? Let's just go through to natural gas. Natural gas. If that's the one, natural gas, or if you've got a symbol for me, I can put it in. That looks like that's overextended. That looks like that wants to come back up on the daily at least. Anyway, up. So. Okay, so if that's the case, then I think that's going to retrace probably first because that flat level. But yeah, otherwise, prior to that, where this candle was now, I would have said, yeah, that was a potential breakdown. Yeah. So I think it's just going to retrace first, and then I think there's shorting opportunities there. So that's pretty cool. But I like that you guys are looking at these other things. Honestly, I love it because it's not as impacted by the news, you know, and it offers almost much, I want to say, safer money making opportunities. And actually, you can see from today, I think there's a bucket load of opportunities to be done. Okay, so that's it. That's the wrap up for today. There's plenty going on there. I've got to go back. I'm just going to update the recording on gold, but that's pretty cool. I think I can do the same thing tomorrow. So let me just have a look at my calendar, and then I can schedule it in. And if I do an evening one, of course, I'll let you know. So basically the goal would be somewhere between 12 and 1 or 12:30 and 1. So 12 or 12:30, I'll do a live stream. I think I can do it tomorrow. So let me just check. Just going to look at my calendar. Okay, so tomorrow I can't do it. Tomorrow I'm doing a 2-hour webinar special for CMC Markets Singapore. So I can't do it tomorrow, but Friday I definitely can. So tomorrow I might do one after that, which means I'll let the groups know. So tomorrow, if I do one, it will be maybe 2:30 for 3, if I'm going to do it. And Friday, I'll probably do 12 till 12:30 or something. Okay, cool. I'll leave you to it. Thank you very much, guys, and we'll see you tomorrow. Thanks. Okay, something different on that one. Okay, yeah, just have a look at that if that's the case. But yeah, if that daily's not overextended, then go for it. Looks good. Cool. All right, guys. Cheers.